Alexa's telling me I got to sanitize the water, of course, and I'm just getting ready to drive away. As luck would have it. And that also tells me it's noon, because that's the time the alerts usually come in. So today I am going to, well, I already have hopped in the driver's seat and prepared everything for departure, and we're headed from New Hampshire into Maine. First stop, a Planet Fitness, because I need a shower. And we'll see what's up from there. But I can tell you there's some lobster in my future. It would have been hard to miss Mount Washington as I made my way across the state toward Maine, or this resort. Wow, pretty penny to stay there, I'll bet. On this drive came one of those times when Google, just sent me down a path that I probably would not have picked for myself. And I guess I'm partially to blame because I missed some of the warning signs. But take a look at this white knuckle of our drive over some ridge in New Hampshire that quite probably I should not have been driving on.
Turn left onto Hurricane Mountain Road. Continue on Hurricane Mountain Road for 6 miles.
Oh, fuck. Jesus. Dude, seriously. Sure, let's go fast as hell, that works. 2.7 more miles. Switching on to another named road, Green Hill Road. I don't know where we're at right now. Well, here comes another one. Shit, turn on your lights, dumbass. Slow the fuck down. Ears popping. Impressively smooth road, I'll say, though. Recently paved. Gate ahead.
In 800 feet, turn right onto Green Hill Road.
Well, let's hope Green Hill Road is a little wider and more normal.
Take the next right onto Green Hill Road. Continue on Green Hill Road for 3 miles.
Shortly after turning onto this road, I tried to re-engage the cruise control. Obviously, I couldn't use cruise control coming over that ridge on such a narrow road. But when I tried to turn it back on again, it said, nope, can't do that. The brakes are overheated. So I literally had to wait till the brakes cooled off before I could go back and use cruise control again. Never had that happen before. A Taste of Maine was recommended to me by a friend who used to frequent these parts back in the day while in the Navy. Not sure, but my guess is it's been a while since he's been here, so I don't know if he'd recognize the place nowadays. Things have a way of changing over time, right? So you'll have to let me know, Jim. But this place has character. I'll give it that. The lobster was fantastic. I had my first ever lobster roll, heated and with butter. Sorry to those of you in the cold with mayo camp. No picture of the lobster roll, sorry. I guess I was embarrassed about eating the bun and the fries. Bad carnivore. I promise I'll get a picture of the next lobster I enjoy. Cool deck out back overlooking Pleasant Cove and the Nequasit Brook as it enters the Sassanoa River. Yeah, I had to look all that up and write it down. I'd never be able to remember those names. It was also suggested that I check out Freeport, Maine. It's the home of L.L.Bean, which coincidentally seems to be what the town is all about. A cool thing to know about Freeport is that it has an RV parking area, a designated RV parking area. You can stay there free for a night. A guy I chatted with when I arrived there said the unofficial rule is no more than 24 hours and then be gone. Now, for some reason, I took pictures instead of video that night. The next morning, I moved Joy to a daytime lot, mostly inhabited by local high school students doing what high schoolers do when they hang out in parking lots, I guess. Shopped the stores and then had a whole Maine Lobster before heading out of town. There, see, I did get a picture of the next lobster I enjoyed. Sorry, buddy, but you were delicious. Headed back towards New Hampshire, which gives me time for a story. Long ago, back when I first started out in internet radio, I mentioned starting and running a couple of internet radio stations on my Who's This Guy video. So you could check that out if you like. But yeah, back in the day, before even I started out in internet radio, I became friends with a guy who also was, and still is, into internet radio. His name is Dan. Over all the years since 2006 that we had been friends, we only chatted on the phone. He lived like a half a country away. It's not like we could just randomly do coffee whenever we felt like it. But anyway, being a huge fan of his internet radio station, even before I started my own, there's one thing that I can say with complete certainty. Dan is my absolute favorite radio personality. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does radio anywhere close to how brilliant Dan is when he's on the air. And it's no surprise, given that earlier in his career, he was a prominent DJ in the Boston market. So I think you can imagine my delight in actually being able to meet Dan for the first time in person after, being virtual friends for the past 17 years. In the name of fun and adventure, we drove to a picturesque place on the coast, popular with the tourists, and special to Dan over his lifetime, called Cape Nettic and the Nubble Lighthouse, or more simply, just the Nubble Light. We're speculating that it was a Mars rover that was tested here. If we go much further here, we're going to end up in the water.
Especially right there, it almost looks like when the water pulls out, it almost looks like you would slide in slowly.
Yes.
Watch. It's like right there.
Yeah, it just kind of slithers right on out.
Yeah, he's coming up to get us now.
The tides are shifting. We better get out of here.
They come in quickly.
Now, after seeing the lighthouse, we drove off down Highway 1. And Dan was sure that there was a historic marker somewhere nearby commemorating one of, if not maybe the very first, transatlantic cable ever dropped between the U.S. and, I don't know, somewhere across the pond. So with great determination and questionable focus, we drove U.S. Highway 1 along the coast, expecting it to just present itself. When it didn't, we inconvenienced an entire RV park by driving all around through it, since surely that would be the most logical place to hide a commemorative plaque or whatever it is that commemorates something that just doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, we didn't find it, so dejectedly we gave up and let the RVers get back to their campfires. We did find a nice little upscale seaside bar and grill, though. We had some great seafood there and just talked for a really long time. So long that it seemed darkness might fall if we didn't head out. Or maybe it was just the fog that was rolling in. There was something uniquely New England about this fog. I don't know quite how to explain it. And I mean, like I'm some sort of expert on New England fog, right? A fellow Embassy RV owner mentioned that the Kittery Trading Post in Kittery, Maine, is welcoming to travelers and allows us to park overnight in their parking lot. So I did a little shopping there and got permission. Tons of outdoor and hunting gear there, so if you need some supplies along those lines, stop at the Kittery Trading Post. That would surely scratch that itch for you. And with that, I'm going to put a wrap on this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like would be great. And if you subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely outstanding. Thank you for that. And I'll see you in the next video.